Hey guys, it's Shannon from iHeartRadio Canada, joined by Max from the Arkells. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm sitting on my parents' front porch right now. It's a beautiful day.
I was
Can't
gonna say,
complain.
it looks gorgeous. Where are your parents' house?
They're just like north of Kensington Market in Toronto. They've lived here for it's where I grew up. They've lived here since I think 1977 or something. They've been here forever. It's a great hood though. Great neighborhood.
Yeah, that's a good area to grow up in. That's so sweet. I'm in Parkdale, so I'm like not that far.
Oh yeah, nice.
Nice. That's awesome. I love
Are
that.
you near the Craig's Cookies location in Parkdale? Are you
Yeah,
familiar?
actually.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good.
I
Good
keep
spot.
hearing about them, but I haven't had it yet. But I obviously
Oh, you're a
guys,
fool.
I know.
What is keeping you? Go right after this is done. Treat yourself. It's Friday.
Yeah. Do you guys still have the Arkells cookie there?
Yeah, they're selling it at the Church and Wellesley location, and they're delicious. So I recommend. But you can't go wrong with any of them, really.
No, that's true. Okay, that's my assignment for today. I'll do it.
Awesome.
That sounds good. Okay, first of all, I want to say thank you for this album. I feel like it's exactly what we need, not only because it's like we're in a pandemic, but because it's like the perfect Canadian summer album. So,
Mm.
can you tell me a little bit about how this all formed, where the idea came from?
Yeah, I mean, normally we wouldn't have time to make a record like this because in a normal year we'd be touring and we'd be working on new music. But obviously the world shut down back in March, and we needed to come up with a new game plan. And over the years, we'll get messages from people that are listening to our. Oh, it's a dog barking down the street. We'll get messages from people that are listening to our music, like on their balcony or at their cottage, or around a campfire, or while they're working out. And we're always sort of delighted to know that we're a part of people's lives in these sort of small, more intimate ways. And I started to teach these online Instagram guitar classes at the beginning of the pandemic when we were in quarantine, and people seemed to like the stripped down version. So we thought, okay, this is actually something we can work on from home. And that's when we got to work on it. Like I'd record my part, send it to Tony, and we'd send it around, and that's how the songs got created.
How was that process then? Like, because it's obviously you're creating music differently than you normally would, especially with quitting you. I'm assuming
Yeah.
that wasn't done how you guys normally would record. How was that?
Yeah, it was really interesting. We've never really recorded like this, and you're kind of going in blind a little bit because you don't have the feedback of the guys working in the studio with you. But because the nature of the songs are sort of simple and folky, I figured we could probably get away with it. In some of the more like modern productions, you probably need to be together a little bit more. But with the folk songs, everybody's sort of part is sort of like laid out to a degree. And Quitting You was recorded. I think the vocal on it is like from the night I recorded it in my attic, and then I shipped it off to the guys, and everybody added their parts on it, and it all kind of fell into place pretty well. It's not something we could have done early on in our career because we didn't know how to play together as much, but now everybody kind of has their zone and knows how to play in their own zone, so it seems to work.
Yeah, what I love about the fact that it's so stripped down, I think like even just like being in the middle of downtown Toronto and listening to it, it just forces you and kind of reminds you to relax and like take a breath and reflect. Is that what you guys were trying to get across with the album?
Yeah, I think so. I think you nailed it there. It's just like these are all intimate songs, and a lot of them are about sort of intimate relationships. And right now, the world is a lot quieter of a place. There's no big sporting events going on. There's no big concerts going on. So the thing that's brought me comfort over the past few months is just thinking about like my closest relationships and the people I really care about. You're listening to a lot more music around the house. You're not really raging as much. There's not much raging going on in 2020.
No.
There's a lot more like intimate hangs. So that's where like kind of the inspiration for the music came from.
Yeah. And the thing I love about you guys so much, and you can just see it in everything that you do, is like how good you guys are to your fans. And I need to know more about this girl who you gave the album to days before it came out. You like tracked her down and gave her a CD. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, it was a fella named Corey. He tweeted at us, and he was moving home from Calgary back home to Nova Scotia. And I think he was just for fun tweeted asking if he could get an advance copy of the record as he was driving through Ontario. And I remember this was only like 3 days ago. Oh, we have the mail person here. I'm just doing a Zoom call. Do you want to say hello?
Our first guest? Hi.
Hey.
And I was with our manager, Ashley, and I showed her the tweet. I'm like, oh, can we send him a link? And she said, we don't want to send out links right now. We don't want to leak the record. But then we realized that he was going to be stopping in Sault Ste. Marie that night. And as luck would have it, it sounds too good to be true, but Ash is from Sault Ste. Marie, and her parents were in Toronto visiting her. First time she's seen them all year. And we sent them home with a hard copy, a CD of Campfire Chords. So we thought, what if her parents, who just got back to town that night, dropped off a copy at the hotel where he was staying? So that happened. And I was like, okay, this is great. But then we realized that his U-Haul didn't have a CD player in it. So then we had to send out a tweet to the good people of Sault Ste. Marie if anybody had a spare boombox lying around their basement, and they could drop off to the hotel. So Brianne, a local Arkells fan in Sault Ste. Marie, had one, dropped it off at the hotel, and he was able to listen to the record all the way back to the Maritimes. And that's how it all came together.
That's amazing. Like, what a good gift to be able to give to somebody, especially on a road trip like that. That's so cool.
Yeah, well, like, that's probably one of my favorite parts of the job is like the little moments of human interaction that we get to have when we're on tour, getting to meet lots of interesting people from different communities. And the fun thing about an Arkells show is that each one is very different. Depending on who's in the crowd, different things kind of happen. And that's part of my job as the front man of the band, is to sort of keep my eyes peeled for interesting things going on in the crowd. So that's kind of a version of that happened online.
Yeah. Is that a really hard part for you for the pandemic? Is that the fact that you can't put on live shows?
Yeah, it sucks. I think most musicians would be like, I really miss playing shows, you know. But you know, it's a good reminder, you know, there's probably some things that I took for granted because we've been doing it for a while that now I'm going, oh, it was really cool to be able to go to like London, England, usually like once a year because we had some show there. Or to travel to British Columbia in the summer. It's like, it's hard to beat like Squamish, BC, like in July. It's so spectacular. Where are you from?
I'm from Burlington, but living in
yeah, nice.
Yeah, so pretty close to where you guys
are. Right?
Yeah, we've talked before.
Yeah, we talked, okay.
It was a while ago, though, so thank you for remembering. That's sweet.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so you've obviously been asking a lot of people what their favorite song is off of the album. What is yours?
I think my favorite song would be, I think, A Little Rain. The record has like definitely like a singer-songwriter folk spirit to it, but Little Rain is a real gospel production. I love gospel music. I'm not religious at all really in that way, but I love the music. I can listen to gospel music all day. And that was sort of the treatment we gave it. Our friend Marla Joy stacked her vocals to make it sound like a gospel choir. And Aaron Goldstein played a little electric guitar on it. So it was a real group effort. And yeah, I think A Little Rain would be my favorite one.
Yeah, I like that. That's so sweet. Was there any songs that you wanted to turn acoustically, but it was difficult because it just like didn't work?
Yeah, we tried to do American Screams, and that screwed us up. We couldn't figure it out for some reason. It was more like, once we got to the chorus, we're like, where does this go? And we kind of scrapped. We were kind of of the mind, like, if it doesn't feel good, we don't have to labor over it. We have another 40 songs to choose from, so let's keep it moving.
That's true. Awesome. Max, thank you so much for chatting. I really appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure. Great talking to you again.
Yeah,
we'll see you around Parkdale.
Yeah, for sure.